Good morning and welcome back to Unraveled Game Thoughts. Today I have Regicide. I finally got a copy of this, and as you can see, it is a very small box and is basically a deck of cards. So this is probably one of my favorite games I've discovered of the last year that can be played as a solo or as a co-op. I don't know that there's any kind of competitive version. It's largely a co-op game for 1 to 4 players. I've played it at 2, 3, and solo count. I don't think I've played a 4-player game yet, but I'd have to go check my records on BGA and see if I played it. This is available on BGA, so if it's a game that this looks interesting and you'd like to try it out, I highly suggest giving it a shot there and see what you think. But, and again, this is also a game you could just, once you know the rules, you could take a deck of cards and you could kind of do it. But I like the artwork. I think it's fun. I think it's neat that someone took the time to design this particular play out of a deck of cards, and it's real creative. So I'm going to run through a game in solo here. Solo is pretty similar to the group dynamic when you're playing with multiple players. So I'll try to discuss the differences. Basically, your hand size is going to change. So as a solo, I get 8 as my hand size. 2-player, it's 7. 3-player is 6. And I think 4 players is 5. So the more players you have, the less hand size you get. Makes it a little bit more challenging of a game. The other difference is these jesters. Now, I'm going to hold it up to this camera because I think it's easier to see there. The jesters, of which there are 2 in the whole deck. If you're playing a 4-player game, these are going to be shuffled into your base deck, basically your draw deck. And if you are playing with 3 players, you get 1 jester. And if you are playing solo, then they just sit up here at the top. And you, twice during the game, you can potentially discard a jester and you basically remove it from the game. So unlike the 3 and 4 player variants where it could be reshuffled back into the deck, in this one it will just actually leave the game. And then you can draw up to your hand size. You can do that either at the beginning of your turn before you are about to engage the enemy and have to deal with it, or you can do it at the end of your turn just before the enemy does damage to you. So you have some options there to help get through some of the enemies. It's very hard not to use them in solo, at least in my experience. Theoretically, if you get through the entire game and you used both jesters in the solo, then you win with a bronze. If you can just use 1 jester, you win with a silver, and if you can win the game without using any jesters, you get a gold. That's the rule. That's how the rules are written. So let me explain this game. You're going to fight enemies, and you're cooperatively going to try to defeat them, and you're going to play them. So first, you're going to start with, you're going to have to defeat all 4 jacks. And then you are going to defeat all 4 queens. And then you're going to defeat all 4 kings. Now, you don't necessarily know what order the suit of each one is going to come out in. You are going to fight all the jacks, all the queens, and then all the kings. You're not going to have to worry about getting a king before you'd get a jack or a queen. I don't know that. I wonder if it's possible to do a variant where you shuffle them all together and see what that's like. But for the sake of just sticking with the rules, jacks and queens and kings. You don't know which suit's going to come out, and the reason that's important is because in this game, each suit has a different power. And so the little player aid that you're going to get in this deck of cards is going to tell you the suit powers for hearts, diamonds, clubs, and spades. I'm going to explain them in brief. There are some combo things you can do with your deck. I will not start the game explaining those, but if I play one, I will just explain it as I play it. Hearts will help you get cards that end up going to discard. So after you've played cards, then or defeated enemies, sometimes they will go to your discard pile in a lot of cases. And eventually your draw deck runs out. And if your draw deck runs out and you cannot draw a card when you're supposed to, then you will die and lose the game. So healing will take cards from the discard pile, you shuffle it up, and then you will, however many you're healing, you're going to add that to the bottom of your draw deck. Diamonds are going to allow you to draw cards from the deck, so you don't automatically fill up your hand between each round or each enemy or each turn. You only get to refill your hand with a draw card. Now, in the solo version, the Jester will also give you the card draw ability, but that doesn't count the same as playing a diamond and then getting to draw cards. The club will deal double damage, so if I play a 3 of clubs, it's going to do 6 damage to my enemy, and that's going to make it a little easier for me to kill him faster, honestly. And then the spade will actually take away from the enemy's attack power. And so say I have a jack out there, he normally does 10 damage, and I play a 10 of spades, he will not do 10 damage. His damage until I've defeated him will be 0. If I played a 2 of spades, his damage would go down to 8, and it would stay that way unless I played another spade that added to it. And you'll see how that stacks in a bit, but that also in multiplayer applies the same way. So if I play a 2 of spades, then using the jack as an example, and he does 8 damage to me, my opponent's turn comes up, and then they also are whatever they play against him. If they play another spade, it will again take away more damage, but if they play some other card, that opponent still only takes 8. That enemy only does that much damage until he is defeated. So there are times in the game you kind of strategically would like to get an enemy down to doing 0 damage or very close to 0, and just ping away at the enemy and build up your hand or whatever else you're trying to do. Sometimes get your deck use a healing card to get your deck built up, and then don't defeat that enemy until you kind of have a little bit more in my deck and a little bit more in my hand. And you'll see that as I play. The enemies will attack. Jacks will attack for 10, and they take 20 damage to defeat. Queens will attack for 15 and take 30 to defeat, and kings will attack for 20 and they take 40 damage to defeat. And what happens when you defeat an enemy, if you defeat it with the exact amount of damage needed to defeat it, it will go on top of your deck. So you draw it next. And then the jacks will do, they'll do 10, the queens will do 15, and the kings will do 20, and then if you discard them to take damage from your enemy, then you would discard them for 10, 15, and 20 accordingly. The way you take damage, so every turn has the same structure. I play a card or cards if there's a combo, and I'll explain those later. I play a card, I will do some damage to the enemy and use my powers, and then I will take damage from the enemy, whatever amount of damage that enemy is going to give to me. I take that damage, or rather I have to deal with that damage, I should say, because technically if you take any damage, you lose the game. So if the enemy's doing 7 damage to me, I have to discard up to 7 worth of cards from my hand to then mitigate the damage that he is doing to me. If I cannot discard that much, then I will then lose the game. So the same principle works in a group dynamic, whether it's 2, 3, or 4 players. If any player takes damage and can't discard, then they would also lose the game. Everybody loses the game. So solo, this is one of those games where solo rules apply pretty seamlessly into a normal game. So if you think this looks good at solo, then I think you'll probably enjoy it multiplayer. In fact, I like the multiplayer dynamic. I mean, in theory, you could maybe say some basic things like, I think I can deal with that guy, I can deal with this one. If you, let's say you don't kill an enemy, he's like, if you don't kill that enemy, I think I can handle it if it comes out, or some real general information, but you can't say like, I have a heart that I can use to build our deck back up, or I'm going to play a 7 of clubs. You can't give specific information when it's coming up to your turn. So that is the a little bit of the dynamic between players if you're trying to do it the co-op. And what makes it sometimes challenging is you really have to pay attention to what your other opponents have. Like I see my opponent only has 2 cards in her hand. We need to get a diamond out so that when this enemy gets around to them, they have some cards in their hand to then both also do some damage, but also, you know, discard when the enemy does damage to them. So that's the basics. I am going to go ahead and start this game. I'm going to draw 8 cards. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to reveal my first enemy, which is going to be the Jack of Spades. So what that means is it's a Jack of Spades. So my spades will not mitigate his damage. And that's important because for a couple of reasons. One, I know that the Jack of Spades, there's no other Jack of Spades. So I tend to think the spade of each one enemy and the diamond of each enemy are the toughest to defeat because I can't mitigate the Jack's damage, which means when I look at my hand, and I hope that my camera catches this, one of the things that I want to bear in mind is that I'm going to have to discard at least 10 damage, or 10 cards worth of damage, and that's going to be painful. I hate discarding so much. I've got a couple of diamonds here to help me draw back up, but you only draw up to your hand size, so I don't want to play these, as I'll try to hold this up into one of these cameras. It looks so you can see it. The 8, 5, and 6 here. And I'm not good at mirroring. Those are, I kind of want to use some of the cards in my hand so that when I draw, I'm kind of getting the most out of those cards as I'm doing damage. And he takes 20. So sometimes I like to think, what am I going to discard when he does damage? Spades aren't going to help me a ton right now. So probably I will go for, well, and here's the other catch. I have a way to do some damage to him that I wouldn't have to take any damage because I have an ace. And aces are spirit animals and can be combined with any other 1 card. I hate to waste anything, but I think what kind of makes sense is here's a combo, I can play the 9 of spades and the ace of clubs. Together that's 10. So I'm actually going to do 20 damage to him. Now my spade, the ability that takes away his power, it won't trigger because he's a spade. So he blocks that power. But the club will double the total attack power of the 9 plus the ace is 1, so that's 10, and it doubles it to 20, so that it does immediate 20 damage to the Jack. That's exactly what he needs to be killed, and then he's going to go to my draw pile, and then these 2 cards go to my discard, and so I killed him with 1 hit. And then the next enemy comes out, and now I have to deal with this one. So this is a heart, not a bad power to be drawing, especially at the beginning of the game. You don't tend to have a ton of cards in your discard pile at this point, so I just need to take care of this guy in a reasonable amount of time. I can mitigate some of his damage, and with the spade here, well, that would get him down to 7 damage for me, and I would just have to discard a card. The question is, do I want to do that, or do I want to get closer to knocking him out and take 10 damage? I don't like the idea of 10 damage, but I don't like the idea of 7 damage either. And I want to be able to draw cards. I don't have an extra 5. The tough one. I think I'm going to take a chance. I hate to get rid of diamonds because they're very helpful, but I'm going to go ahead and play a 3 of spades. So that's going to do 3 damage to him, so he'll be down to 17. And now he, because it's a spade, he's going to do 10 minus 3, so 7 damage to me. So I have to discard at least 7 from my hand. I'm going to go ahead and discard this 8 of diamonds. And since I have 2 other diamonds here that I think will help me out, I think that will be good. And he is down to 17. So I'm going to have to be able to deal with another bit of damage here. So I'm going to probably play a diamond, but I'm trying to think of which one. If I play the 5, that will knock him down to 12, and then I could hit him with the club next time and kill him. Not a bad move, but I still have to discard enough damage to take care of it, which would probably be this 9. So I like the idea of getting him on top of my deck for drawing cards. Plus, I know I'm going to draw a jack here in a second. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to play the 5, which now he's got a total of 8 damage against him. He's down to 12. And I'm going to use the power to draw up to 5 cards, which is exactly the number of cards I need to reach my hand size. So that's okay. And then I will take damage from him. So we got the jack of spades, the 6 of spades, the 10 of diamonds, the 8 of hearts, and the 7 of spades. So I need to take at least, how much damage here? 7 damage. I think because hearts are the least useful right now, I'm going to go ahead and discard the 8 of hearts. And that's going to be it for my damage. So now I've got some good stuff here in my hand. I'm going to go ahead and play the 6 of clubs. He needs 12 to kill. The club double, the 6 doubles to a 12. And so he is going to take exactly 12 damage, which puts him on top of my deck. And then the next jack comes out. And of course, when you kill the enemy, they don't do damage to you. All right, so now we've got the jack of diamonds. Now, I can't draw anything with the jack of diamonds in play. So I think what I'm going to do, first of all, is I'm going to use my jack of spades, because that is going to do 10 damage to him. So now he's down to 10 health, and it takes away any damage he's going to do. He would normally do 10 damage to me, but the spade will take away all his damage. So he does 0 to me. He technically still attacks me, but he attacks me for 0. So I don't have to worry about discarding anything, which is fantastic. But I do need to do 10 damage to him. And I know the jack of clubs is the next one coming. So the catch is going to be, what do I want to kill him with? I don't want to waste a lot of cards, but I'm going to have to draw cards the next time. So this is kind of a tough choice, but I'm going to go ahead and kill him for more than the damage needed to kill him, which means he's going to die, but he's going to go to the discard. And I could have pinged away at him a little bit more, but what I really don't want to do is end up not being able to draw cards for too long, because I'm down to 4 and I have to use a joker if I don't. And if I can avoid using my jokers, I want to. All right. So now we have the jack of clubs, and so my question is, or not my question, but yeah, my tactical decision here is, do I play a 10 of diamonds and then get to draw a lot of cards, or do I spade some of his damage? Both fairly tough choices, but I think what I'm going to do is, not knowing what else I'm going to draw, I'm going to go ahead and spade his damage for a 7, put him down to 13, and he is going to do 3 damage to me. I'm going to go ahead and discard this 6 of diamonds. And then next turn, I am going to play the 10 of diamonds. That's going to put him down to, he's down to 3. He's still going to end up doing 3 damage to me, but I'm going to draw up to my hand size. I could draw up to 10, but my hand size is 8, so that's all I'm going to be able to draw up to. Ooh, we got a spirit animal. Nice. Got another spirit animal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I kind of would like to do exactly the damage to him, but I also have potential combos. Next turn, he takes 3 damage. I don't have a 3. Man, well, as much as I like the combo idea, I think what I'm going to do, because my 2 of clubs isn't going to be terribly effective, I'm going to play the spirit animal with that for exactly 3 damage. And I'm getting to draw cards, so I can draw up to 3, but I have 6 in my hand, so I'm only going to get to draw 2. And the 2 plus the ace will do exactly 3 damage, so at least he will go on top, which I actually did that wrong. That card would have stayed there, and that card would have stayed there. This would have gone on top, and then I would have drawn 2 cards after the damage was dealt, because I believe I can do the powers before or after. That is a good rules question, though. Let's take a look at the rules and make sure we're doing that the correct way, so I'm not cheating. Let's see. Turn order step 4. Whoops. It's a very tiny rule book that fits in the size of a deck of cards, so pretty small. All right. So step 1, play a card from the hand to attack the enemy. Step 2, activate the player card's suit power. Oh, okay. Okay. So the suit power acts first and then damage is dealt. So I actually should have this guy and the jack would go on top. So I would not draw him immediately. All right. But that does finish out our jack. And so now we're going to go to our first queen, which is a heart. And our deck's getting a little low, so I am going to have to figure out how to get some hearts out there. I kind of would like to use a spirit animal, but I don't want to waste it on a heart because I won't get I won't get the bonus of 2 different abilities if I do that. Well, I do need to mitigate some damage from the queen. So I think what we're going to do is 6 damage, which puts the queen down to 24 health. And I am spading her damage down to 9. So she's going to do 9 to me. I hate to use a jack for this, but it's a jack of hearts. I feel okay, especially with my ace spirit animal for now. Discarding that for my 9 damage that I have to take. And then going on to the next turn here. It's a tough choice. I like spading down more damage. That is definitely very helpful. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to play the 5. So now her damage is down to 4. And I'll go ahead and discard that 4. And she's taken 11 damage, so she needs 19 more damage. Let's see. I'm going to have to draw cards. I'm going to have to be able to take at least 4 damage. I could spade her down to 1 with the ace and the heart, the spirit animal heart, but I don't want to waste my spirit animal on that. I think I'm going to hit her for 7 more damage. So I'm going to first draw up to 8. Or I draw up to 7, but hand size is 8. So 6, 7, 8. And now she's going to take 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 18. So she needs, what is it, 12 more damage to kill her? And I have to discard 3. Well, I've got a 3 of clubs here. That's pretty... Is it 3 or 4? Oh, I got to discard 4. I can't discard 3. What do I want to do? I think I think I'm going to go with a 6. I'm going to discard that. All right. So we need to do 12 damage to her to get her off the board. Is there a way that we can get exactly 12 damage? I don't have a 5 to combine with a spirit animal. I don't have doubles of anything that would add up to under 10. And she's still doing 4 damage to me. Well, I kind of like this. An ace club, an ace spade, ace and 3, club and spade. So it adds up to 4. The spade will reduce her damage to me down to 0, and the 3 will will double the damage of 4 up to 8. So that puts her down to 4 health. Now I just got to figure out how do I want to take care of her final 4 health here. I don't think I'm going to be able to manage exact damage, although that would be fantastic. But I don't think it's going to happen. So drawing cards is tempting, but I don't know the next queen that's coming out, and if it's a diamond, I am in trouble. So I don't want to have to face the queen of diamonds with this hand of cards. So I'm going to play the 9 and take her out with that. And then I'm going to draw back up to 8. And then she's out. She just goes to the discard. And we're going to go to the next queen. The queen of diamonds. Whoa. Oh man. Glad I used the diamond when I did. Put it that way. That was not good. Okay. So we're going to have to do a lot of damage here pretty soon. I think I'm going to have to mitigate a lot of the damage she's going to do to me. So I'm going to, oh, and I'm sorry, I forgot to discard those. My discard pile is getting pretty large at this point in time. So I'm going to play my Spirit Ace with the 10 of spades. So that's going to do 11 damage to her. But more importantly, it's going to lower her 15 damage to me down to 4, which I need desperately in this case. And okay, that's also what that's going to do is we're going to shuffle our discard, and we're going to get to put 11 cards into our draw pile. So and it doesn't go on top, it goes on the bottom. So that's an important distinction when you're adding these to the draw pile. So get those all shuffled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we'll put those underneath. So we've got a little bit more health. And I have to discard for the 4 damage that I'm going to take. So we'll just discard that for now. All right. Well, she is down to 19 health. So I think what we'll do is we'll knock her out. We'll just knock her out. She's going to go to the discard because the 10 doubles to 20 because it's a club, and we'll see what's next. So clubs comes out next. Well, this is unfortunate because now I'm in a situation where I don't have any cards that are going to let me draw, and I'm going to have to use a joker. I just don't know exactly when I'm going to have to use the joker, but I'm going to have to use a joker. I'm going to have to probably take 15 damage. I've got 15 right here. My clubs aren't going to help me much. I kind of think it will be better to go ahead and club them for 10 since it's not going to double. And then before I can do it before well, I can wait till the next turn. I'll go ahead and discard 15 because those clubs aren't going to help against him. And then before my next turn, before I decide what I'm going to do about him or her, I'm going to go ahead and use a joker and draw up to hand size. So we got 5, 6, 7, 8. And let's see what we can do here. I can spade some stuff, which is nice. I got two twos there that I could pair together. That's not bad. But right now I'm taking 15 damage, and I don't have a lot of damage in cards. So honestly, I think playing this 8 is going to be better so that I can take only 7 damage, and I'll discard this heart and do it that way. So that puts her down to doing 7 damage to me each turn, and she has taken 18 damage, meaning she's down to 12. Do I have a way to get her further? Well, this would combine for 8, which would mitigate all the damage she does to me. So if I play these two 4s together, because it's 10 or less, 2 4s I can play together, and the club won't do anything because she's a club, but the spade will take away 8 of the damage she would normally do to me, and she will take 8 damage. So now she's down to 4 to kill her. We're getting very tight here on the cards. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play a 3, so that puts her down to 1, and that's going to let me draw 3 cards. That didn't help a ton, but what it did give me was these 3 2s, and because combining 3 2s is under 10, that might give me enough to potentially, it'll kill her, but it'll give me all of these powers at the same time. So the spade doesn't really matter too much, but this is a good example of a combo. So you can combine up to 4 2s together because it's still under 10. You can combine 3 3s together. You can combine 2 4s together. You can combine 2 5s together. You just can't go over 10, and you get whatever the combined powers are. So obviously well, she's not blocking. I'm not playing a club, so that's not blocked, but the spade isn't going to matter because her power, the attack power, is already reduced. But if I play those 3, then a couple of things are going to happen, and I believe I can trigger these in any order I want. So I'm going to get to draw 6 cards. The question is, do I want to shuffle that into there? And I kind of think I do. So I'm going to shuffle 6 cards into my draw first, because I want to have as many options as possible. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll do that. And that's going to go at the bottom of the draw. And then I'm going to draw 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to stop there because of hand size. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, I'm at 8. And then damage is dealt. And it's not exact, so she's going to go to the discard pile. All right. Now, my draw pile is starting to get low. Oh, we drew a spade, and I have 1 single heart or diamond in my hand. This is not the best setup at all. And I can't spade her attack to me down at all, so I'm gonna have to take some damage. So I usually like to think, what do I think I'm going to take that damage with beforehand? I think I'm probably going to take it with this 5 and 10, although, you know, well, there's 2 5s here. I'm trying to think, is the heart more valuable to me or the diamond? Well, I don't have to draw too many cards. I can't spade her down, that's right. So that's not going to be helpful. So we could double the attack power and get to draw cards with this 5. That might be the most helpful. If we play those two 5s together, because that adds up to 10, that's not too bad. And we're going to have to take our damage of 15, but that's okay. I got that set aside, but I can only, that is already in my hand, so I only get to draw 2 cards. But she is going to take 20 damage, so she's down to 10. And then we have to discard these 2. Okay. Ooh, this is tight. All right. So she's down to 10 damage. I hate to waste an ace on something like this, but I need to recover some health, and I don't know, I can't remember all the queens I've fought thus far, unfortunately. So I'm going to go with that. And hope. I'm going to hope. All right, so that's enough to kill her exactly, which means, well, let's do our powers first. That's not going to matter, but the heart, we're going to get 10 going back under our draw deck here, which I know I'm going to need that soon. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, and that's going to go under there, and she is going to go on top of there, and then these discard. And now we're going to go on to, oh, it's our first king. We are into the kings, and I need to take 20 damage. Whoa. So, yeah, this is not great. So really, I really only have one play that's worth anything at all. I'm going to play 10, or rather a 7, sorry. And I'm going to draw up to my hand size. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Okay, so there's my 8, and now I have to take 20 damage. So as much as I hate to do this, I think it's my only option, because otherwise I'm discarding almost my entire hand. So that's 15, discarding that queen. And I'm going to go with this 6 here, because the club is useless against this one. So we're going to do that. And now I live to fight another day, but still kind of in the same boat. I'm going to have to take 20 damage. Now I could spade him down a bit. But I need to draw cards in order to be able to do much against him. I don't want to waste the ace. Man. Well, I think it's the only option I have, unfortunately. Because if I play these other 3, it would mitigate his damage by 9, so he would only do 11 damage to me, but then I wouldn't be able to draw cards. So I like the idea, but not the fact that I'm not going to be able to draw cards. So I think I'm going to go with this route. I'm going to play the 9, and I'm going to draw 3 more cards. 1, 2, 3. Ouch. Definitely going to have to use my Joker. And he's going to do 20 damage to me. Do I have 20 damage? I'm pretty sure I have 20. I'm not sure, actually. I got to do these 2 hearts. That's 14. That's 19, and that's 20. Yeah, this is not going to go well. So there's my 20 damage. That's hurting. I am going to play these 3 together. So the club's not going to matter. The spade is going to spade down his damage, so he's going to take 9. And as you can see, I play 3 threes together, so it's under 10. I am going to get 9 cards back into my draw pile, which is pretty good. Before I take damage, I'm going to use my Joker, my last one here, and see if I can help myself out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we'll do this there. Boom. And now I'm going to use the Joker and draw back up to hand size before I discard 6, 7, 8. And he took 9 against his 20, so I only have to discard 11 this time. Thank goodness. So I'm thinking club, and I really don't want to lose a potential draw, and my clubs are useless against him, so I am going to go with that club as well, even though I don't like it. How much damage has he taken? He's taken 9, 18, 20, 22, 24, 25 damage. So he's down to 15 damage left to defeat him, and I have no way to mitigate the 11 damage I am going to take. This guy is killing me. All right. So we're going to do an 8. He's going to be down to 7. I still have to take 11. I'm going to get to add 8 cards to my deck here. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've at least gotten my draw deck back up to a little better, and we're going to get the draw up to my hand size. 5, 6, 7, 8. And we have to take 11 damage. Well, that Ace of Clubs might be good in the next round. I've got some powerful cards here. Hate to lose a diamond, hate to use a queen, but my draw pile is actually better off. So getting 1 card lost here isn't quite as bad as it could be. I'm going to go ahead and do the queen. And he only needs, let's see, he's taken 16, 25, 33. So he needs 7 more damage to be put away. I think I am, he's doing 11 damage to me. I think I'm actually going to mitigate 10 of his damage, so I still have to discard 1 for the damage that he does to me, but this ace has been not as helpful. I'm going to go ahead and discard, actually, you know what? I'm going to keep the ace and discard the 2. That's what I'm going to do. And that takes the damage. And he has 1. Oh, did that kill him? Shoot, that might have killed him. I think it did kill him. So, because that's 10, 19, 28, 36, 38, 44, 42. Yep, that killed him. So he's out, goes to discard, didn't use exact damage, and we're on to the next king. King of Hearts. Ooh. Well, I wasn't going to get anything back anyway. So we're going to do it this way. We're going to club him for the ace and the 9. That means I have to discard, he'll do 20, but that takes away 20 of the damage he would do, so I'm only going to have to discard 10. Hate to lose a diamond for it, but that's fine. And his he is hit for 20, so he only needs 20 left to defeat. I'll take my damage. I'll hit him for 8. I wonder, yeah, I'm going to hit him for 8. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 5, 6, 7, and 8 up to my hand size, and I still have to take 10 damage. The heart is going to be the most useless one, so we'll take that 10. Oh man, I don't know that I want to take another 10 from him. So I think, and he's got 20 health left, so I think I'm just gonna, oh no, he doesn't have 20 health left. What does he have left? He's taken 10, 20, 8. So he has 12 health left. Well, if we club him for a 6, That does exact damage. And he goes there, and then we face off the king. Oh, man. That sucks. Ugh. Ugh. That's terrible. Well, I can mitigate his damage down to 10. And then I'm going to have to be able to draw cards eventually. So I've got to take 10 damage. Oh, this is going to be painful. And that does, he's down to 30. I'll try this. I think I'm out. So I will mitigate him down to, he's going to do 3 damage to me. I think this is the kicker. And he would take, yeah, I don't think there's any way around it. He'll do 3 damage to me. So I'll discard that. He's taken 17 damage so far. That's 20 more, so 27, but I can't take his attack. So there we go. I lost with 1 king. King of spades is the one left. And the second to last king beat me. So there you go. That is Regicide. And then typically to set up another game, it's pretty easy. I usually just take out the those power cards that you have to defeat and set them up so that when I put it back in the box, it's ready to go again. But it's pretty fun. It's rather hard to defeat. As you can see, I even used the both of my jokers. I don't think I've ever defeated the solo without using both jokers. I know I've won 1 game solo, I think, when I played on BGA. I don't know that I've ever won 2. I have won 1 with 3 players and I've won 1 with 2 players, but it's pretty challenging. And honestly, the one I won with 3 players, we were training, and so there's a little bit of a cheating involved. So some players kind of knew a little bit more what to play or saw another player's hand in order to help them out. So I would say that win comes with an asterisk for some, for those reasons. But this is a great game. This is, I mean, for a deck of cards, I mean, you can take it anywhere. It's a lot of fun solo. It's a lot of fun as a group. We have a family of 4, so this is perfect for our family of 4 and makes us all kind of work together. And it's fun because no one's like hurting anybody's feelings. We're just doing the best we can. It's really easy to tear down and set up. You can play it pretty fast. Once everybody kind of knows all the cards and what they do and how to work those things together, you can move pretty quickly through this game. Obviously, I did the teach and everything here in under an hour. But I mean, that, you know, that's a great stocking size. Great gift for the holidays when as they're coming up. Fantastic design. I'm impressed just at the ability to come up with such a great game. I mean, it might have existed before this and they just rethemed it or reskinned it. I haven't looked up to the history of the game, but it's well done, and they might have streamlined a few things from wherever it was previously. If you enjoyed it, give it a like. Please subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this kind of content, and let me know what you think of Regicide. If you have played, what's your thought on it? For some, it might be a little overly simple. It might not be meaty enough as far as decision making. There are definitely crunchier games. I like the space it takes up where it's not super crunchy decisions. Sometimes I just want a game that's like pretty simple but still fun decisions that feel like they're meaningful. And this feels like it fits that decision space. You know, if I'm not looking for something that's gonna like really get my brain working, but I'm just trying to get it warmed up, this is a good one for that. It's also a good filler game if you're just waiting for people to show up for a game night. But what are your thoughts on it? If you've played it, and if you haven't played it, give it a shot, or let me know what you think just watching this playthrough. So have a great afternoon. Until next time, from Unraveled Game Thoughts.